Hey guys, Uncle Ray. Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and we give you the non-biased information you can use to make informed decisions. Today, we're going to dive into the first week after the attack that Hedera ecosystem had to deal with. And guys, I just watched a podcast with a bunch of HBAR developers that work on different projects in the ecosystem, and it was one of the most positive videos out of probably 20 that I've watched. There's a lot of excitement, and I personally believe that the attack on the HBAR ecosystem just gave them a better roadmap and made them stronger. And it identified some of the problems, and guys, it's early for that ecosystem. But remember, the main net was just fine. So it wasn't like what happens to Solana, but it did bring up some questions about Hedera being decentralized, which we'll talk about briefly in this video. But I'm just going to hit you with some very positive bullet points that these developers mentioned in the video. It was very positive, and there's some really cool things that are happening with HBAR and Hedera. The ecosystem is just fine, and that's what we're going to dive into. None of this financial advice, but let's get it. Well, if you look at the chart, guys, it wasn't a huge week, but it did end up on a positive note. So that's positive. Quite frankly, I was hoping it would get hammered because of that so I could stack a few more bags. Now, this isn't a big deal. It's a light note, but one of the developers created this ugly meme coin, and he just did it for 100% fun. Well, now it has $1 million market cap, but the reason I'm kind of showing it to you is he said that it kind of opened their eyes to that maybe, even though HBAR focuses primarily on enterprise, major corporations around the world, that this might be a niche they should explore, because what's happening with this meme coin is it's bringing people into Hedera's ecosystem, and then they see how great it is and how fast and inexpensive it is, and it opens a whole nother realm of future customers. So it's really positive for the adoption. And if y'all want some information, it's GRELF, and it's part of the CREETS NFT platform. Now, speaking of NFTs, the MYNT platform migrated from ETHEREUM onto HBAR. And what's positive about that to me is they did it right after the big attack, and it didn't phase them. But now the developer talked about why this was so significant is because, and I don't deal with a lot of NFTs. I really think they are the future when they get, added to smart contracts and all that. But where they're at now, I don't really play around in that arena, but I do understand it. And one thing he mentioned of why they wanted to transfer over to HBAR is because, if you have an NFT, a lot of these platforms used to set them up so they would get royalties. Well, now those royalties haven't been tracked, and a lot of people aren't getting the royalties that they thought they would be getting when they created the NFT. And when you go across the board of the future NFTs with musicians and pro athletes and people like that, they want that royalty. Well, the problem is, like in ETHEREUM, and guys, this is all above my head, I can't verify this, but they basically talked about Hedera is one of the only platforms that can track those royalties from the beginning. And he said he thought it was a big deal that we'll see a lot more people merging over to HBAR because of it, for whatever that's worth. Now, they couldn't be more excited about this particular platform. Now, this is not a new project, but he said the adoption about the carbon credits in this particular platform is absolutely off the charts, and he was ecstatic about that. Now, this might be a game changer. IDEMIA is a corporation, and they created a CDBC wallet, and if it works out, guys, it could go and kind of be the standard. But basically, it has the security, the ease of use, and everything a government will need, and it can't really be tracked like what we're all concerned about. That's extremely positive. It can be used online, offline. It can be used with in and out with like your credit card, any other platform that has interoperability with it. It can be used in 1,000 different ways. It seemed to be a big deal. They were really excited about it. And if you want to know more about it, go watch this video. I'm not going to play it. It's IDEMIA.com. Go check it out. Now, they partnered with MTech. Now, I'm very aware with MTech, guys, in the financial world. They are a power player. And, you know, I've mentioned a lot of times, people really don't understand, like when the government's looking for, say, CDBCs or payments or whatever they're looking to do, guys, they don't call Hedera. It just doesn't work that way. They call like IBM or MTech, and whatever they suggest or put up with them, that's what they're going to use. They're not, probably 90% of these corporations and banks around the world have no idea how everything works, and quite frankly, they don't care. That's why they pay corporations like MTech. And MTech is a partner. Now, I'm going to tell you this. You know, I do a lot of research, and there's a lot of players with CBDCs. But from what I'm seeing, I would say that HBAR has more irons in the fire than any other blockchain when it comes to CBDCs outside of Ethereum. So I don't know how it's all going to work out, but it's really positive, and the developers were ecstatic about this particular wallet. So time to tell. But guys, we are so early into HBAR, it's not even funny. Now, I wanted to bring this up. This Guardian platform has its own ecosystem, and they were talking about, you know, it gets into like ESG and stuff like that. And they were saying that every one of the corporations on their governing body has ESG regulation and like specs that they have to meet. And it's really difficult to meet it because it's hard to verify everything, no matter what, of how it goes through like your ecosystem and the supply chain. And they were saying that because of the scalability and the platform that's been built on HBAR, HBAR could easily be the front runner. And they were talking about Guardian has a huge amount of products coming out that all are going to be built on Hedera. So he was extremely excited about that. And guys, I mean, just for me, when I see developers excited, that excites me, because I know no matter what, when you're building, especially in a down market, when you're building and building and building, one day the price will catch up with that growth and that adoption. So that excites me. And again, that was the Guardian platform that they were talking about. Now, This was an announcement a while back, but it was the Reserve Bank of Australia had started a pilot program to explore CBDCs. It's gone to the next level, and that's being created and explored with HBAR. GameOn is a gaming platform that is doing great, has a lot of growth, and they have a new like karate, I don't know how to say that word, K-A-R-A-T-E-K-A game coming out. I'm not a gamer, but they said everyone is excited and they believe that it's going to grow GameOn's ecosystem greatly, and that sits on HBAR. Now, he went on and on and on about Pangolin. Now, long story short, it's basically going to bring liquidity in a big way to the HBAR DeFi platform. And he talked about how it was literally a game changer. It's basically like bringing market makers into the platform. But when he talked about staking, for whatever this is worth, he said that one of the big issues that, and the reason, people stake, but then it goes away, and he said what they're trying to do and why he thinks it's a game changer is there's a lot of people that are going to hodl HBAR, and that makes sense. Especially, I would personally do that as well. I trade pretty much bull run to bull run. But the biggest reason I don't stake is just I don't have the trust in staking any of my tokens, and I don't really know how to navigate in and out of staking platforms really easy. But what he was saying is that because of the way staking is set up now with yield farming and all that type stuff and the liquidity pools, that these big VCs jump in there with huge amounts of money in the early days, and they get these huge numbers going, and they make a lot of money, then they pull out, and the rest of the pool or the yield farming, whatever, just kind of crashes. So what they're setting it up is when you first stake your tokens, you don't make any money. And the longer you stake it, it grows and grows and grows. Now, if you keep it on there, you're going to make more and more money. Now, here's the kicker. He said that if they leave it on there and they get it up to an X amount, like let's say they keep it a year and they pull off, they don't get to go back at that same rate. They start over, and then it's documented of who's done what, and you can see their track record, and that way, when you go to stake yours, you can know who's in that liquidity pool and stuff like that. So I found that pretty impressive. And again, guys, when developers are excited, I get excited. Quite frankly, a lot of it's over my head. But they all agreed that, and I've already been on this same page with them, that we might need to start looking at the ecosystem of HBAR. Because I believe, and I don't know which ones they are, but there's a lot of projects, not a lot, but maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 projects that are being built out on the ecosystem of HBAR that's going to outperform HBAR. That's just my personal opinion. That's kind of how it works, guys. Just like Ethereum took off, and then MTech came, the layer 2 later on, and exploded as well. You're going to have these up and coming tokens, and guys, we might need to dig into it more. Anyway, that's my game plan. That's all I got for you guys. Well, hold on. Let's look at the chart, because I haven't dug into the tokenomics, but I'm going to put Pangolin on my radar. It's 623, and the circulating supply is 154 million. The market cap is just 7.7 million. So this thing could run if it ends up being successful in the next bull run. I don't know what this particular spike is, but if you go back to the launch, this thing's already hit over $6, and then it's rallied, what, 4 different times over $4. So right now, which this looks risky as heck to most people, but we still got $265,000 worth of volume. That's really positive. But right now it's at 0.045. So if it runs back to $6, that's a massive move. Now I'll have to get into the tokenomics because it's possible that they flooded the market after that. I don't know. But either way, I think this thing may have a good upside, and I'll do more of a deep dive in the future. But for now, not shilling this project, but PNG is on my radar. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think about HBAR. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. As far as the ecosystem, they didn't shut down the platform, and the numbers for the week, I wrote them down. It's 24 hours, the last 24 hours as of Friday, they did 64 million trades. They did 400 million trades last week, and every metrics was up, including new accounts. Now, that being said, the accounts increased as far as adoption, but yes, on average, there wasn't as many new accounts being created, but it wasn't people closing their accounts and moving away from HBAR. That's extremely positive. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section about HBAR. Are you still stacking? What do you think about looking at other tokens on the ecosystem? Just give me your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification. And either way, guys, hit that like button and come back and be part of this community. Take care.